Hi everybody, this is Spath at Positive Poker Insiders. Today I'm going to be over at True Poker. The game will begin any minute. It's a one-table tournament. I am doing this for Christian, my client in Sweden who is blind. So I will be describing the action in detail and giving him some tips on beginning to play tournament one-table poker. So I am in the small blind with under the gun with 8-3 offsuit, which I'm going to throw away. Everybody at the table has been given 1,500 chips to start. There are 9 players at the table. So you can do the math on 9 times 1,500 to know how many chips will be left by the end of the table when you get down to 2 and 3 people. The blinds are starting out small at $10 and the big at $20. Because it's a tournament, the blinds will be going up every 6 minutes or 5 minutes. I'll have to look at that in just a second. I'm not in his hand, but 3 diamonds came out, a 9-3-7 on the flop. There are 2 players in the hand. So I was under the gun on that first hand. This next hand, then I will be the big blind. The next hand after that, I'll be the small blind. Then I'll be the button. Then I'll be the cutoff. Then I'll be the hijack. Then I'll be in middle position for a couple of hands. And then I'll be in early position. And then eventually I'll be under the gun. In other words, 1 before the big blind. And it goes around in on a clockwise rotation, as do chips at the table. And the reason that chips at the table, and I've got a queen 4 in the big blind, and we have 3 limpers, and I check my hand. I have a queen of clubs, 4 hearts with 3 clubs on a flop, a 10, a 6, and a 5. I'm going to check here. See what the bet is. The bet was only $20, which is an inappropriate amount into an $80 pot. So if nobody else bets here, I'm going to check raise. I do have a redraw at a flush with a queen, although if the other person entered the pot here, they may either have a 10 and have a pair. Now, my small blind makes it 100, so he check raised before me, and that'll get me out of the pot. There's no sense in me continuing. He may already have a hand, he may have 2 clubs, and now the other person pushes all in, and small blind folds. So that $20 bet that one guy, he would have gotten my money too, because I was going to check raise him, and then he would have went all in. I would have never called him there. So it was good that the small blind saved me. I got a 6-7 in the small blind where I posted $10. Nobody has bet. The cutoff has made it 60. The button has called. Now there's 150 in the pot. It cost me 50. So I'm getting 3-1 on my money. That's not enough, and I'm out of position, and my cards are bad. So there's no way I can call that, because all those circumstances are negative to me. A queen and a king of diamonds with a 7 of clubs flops. A bet of 75 into a 150 pot, which is a half pot bet, was not the biggest bet. I would have preferred him to go over half pot there. He checks now, so he's very afraid of those kings. Another king comes on the turn when he does check. Check back by the button. Now, the first guy is going to probably bet here. Well, he checks again. They both check. And a 7-8 wins that hand. That was pretty bad. I've got a queen 5 of diamonds on the button. But it's not a hand I would play early in a tournament, any 2 suited cards. Just because you got good position doesn't mean you have to play the hand. Remember, early on in the tournament, allow other people to splash around. They're pretty deep in chips. We started out at a 10-20 blind, so 20 into 1,500. You can see for yourself where we have a raise of 100, which is 5 times the big blind. A lot of people with big pairs or big cards early, they like to bet that much because they really don't want that many callers, because everybody's so deep. And I was getting into that on number of big blinds. If you take the 20 and divide it into 1,500, you can see that you've got a ton. Just, if you had 50 big blinds, you'd have $1,000. So you've got 75 big blinds. They have a 9-5 in the cutoff, which is easily fold, even though I'm first in. I could have tried to steal, but you don't want to try to steal early in a tournament either. There's not enough money in the blinds, the 10 and the 20, for you to put in a $60. $60 is a lot of money, and you got crap for a hand, and one of those guys fires back at you. Then I got queen 2 suited in the cutoff. I mean, in the hijack, and I'm gonna throw that away too. Again, nobody limped into the pot. Nobody bet. I find that different times of the day get different types of players. You get, I think, better players or quality players after 5, 6 o'clock Eastern time in the United States, because so many people are home from work that are playing. During the day, you may get a lot of newbies. You may a 10-6-6 flop, 2 spades. Small blind fires 150 or 120 into a 160 pot, which is about 2/3, which is a good bet. He's saying I've got a 10, a 6, or 2 spades. The other person calls. A spade comes off on the turn, a king, and he checks in the small blind as if to say, wow, if that guy hit the spade flush, I'm dead. So the other guy bets 250 into a 400 pot, which is a pretty good bet, and a 4th spade comes off on the end. And once that small blind checks like that, unless they have a full house, they're probably going to lose this pot, because if they would have had the spade, they would have made that bet. And the other individual bets 725 into this pot and gets a call, and he only has a 9 of spades. The small blind stayed all the way to the end with a 9 of spades. The other guy had ace jack and did not have a spade. Very, very poor play, and he's down to 315 chips. You don't want to waste your chips early. I have a 10-3, got 2 limpers early. I'm in middle position. I throw it away. This game is about throwing away cards, and when you do play, is raising. If you get a hand like 3-3 or 8-9 suited, and you want to see a flop cheaply, and you can in the right position, trying to flop something, go ahead. But most of the time, you're going to be throwing your money away by drawing. Drawing will siphon chips faster than anything else in this game. So stick to good cards, big cards, and play them aggressively. I'll play everything you play aggressively. Try not to limp. Try not to call. Try to be the one that people are trying to catch up to. A lot of times you'll win even when you don't hit your cards. On this particular hand, I didn't even discuss it because I wasn't in it, but an ace deuce 7 flop, the king on the turn. Guy's betting $40 into a 160 pot, which is not a very good bet. He's the same guy that did the check raise earlier with the 20. Now he gets raised to 120, snap call, which means immediate call. An ace comes off on the end, and I'm thinking that this guy who just snap called has a rag ace, like an ace 4 or something like that. He bets $60. See if this other guy calls or raises or folds. He's thinking about it, down to 9, 8, 7 seconds. He raises to 240. He gets re-raised all in. He gets called. He's got ace 10 against ace 9, and the ace 10, the guy that was, I said, might have had ace 4, ace reg, is a winner, eliminating another player. So one player's out, one player's down to 305. This is where I have a king 6 in early position of throwing it away. This is where I say, Christian, that it's going to be difficult for you, because not knowing, this one guy now has 3,000 chips, somebody else has 2,600 chips, one has only 305. Keeping track of where the small stack or medium stack is will be difficult for you, because it's not going to, I don't think the software is going to announce that to you. Again, I'm not discussing the cards on the table, just try to save my cold here, my voice. I can just tell you that the small blind and the big blind are battling it out. small blind wins with an ace-10. All right, in this particular hand, I'm under the gun with 10-7 suited. It's an easy fold. We'll go around the table in a clockwise manner. Just always think of me sitting at 3 o'clock on the clock dial. 3 o'clock on the clock dial. We'll go from there. Now the person that's been folded around to the person at 9 o'clock on the clock dial, he's one off of the button at this particular time. So he is in, and everybody folds, and the big blind wins. And I'm the big blind, and the blinds have gone up to 30 and 15. Okay, 30 and 15. And I've got King Jack offsuit in the big blind. I'm raised by the cutoff to 90, and it's 60 to call. So it's 60 into 135, which is just over 2-1 on my money. And it's not worth it to me because I'm out of position and my cards are not good, and I'm facing somebody that raised that probably has either an ace or a pair or something better than me, and it's silly to spend more money. Once you spend the money in the blind, it's gone. So don't defend on it just because it's out there. I have a 10-2 in the small blind, which is going to be an automatic fold. Again, it goes back down to the cutoff, which is one before the button, and that's our friend that has been min raising and check raising and has 2,895 chips. Let's just see, and he folds. Now it's to the button, and we expect a raise of over. Everybody folded, and the big blind just takes it down. So if he wanted to steal there the button, that was the time for him to bet. I'm on the button with a 10 queen of spades, suited 10 queen of spades. It's raised in early position by the guy that only has 3-10. This is what I'm talking about, Christian. If this guy had a lot more money and I wanted to take, because I had a good position and I wanted to call, that'd be different. But even if I call here and hit my hand, he's only got $230 back. He doesn't have enough for me to get implied odds to get my money back. It's just not worth it. And probably if he's betting 275 and he's only got 310, he probably has a really quality hand and he wants some action. So you got to just stay away from those kind of people, but it's going to be hard if you don't understand where they're at the table. Queen 7 in late position for me in the cutoff. Easy fold to a raise, a min raise to my right from the hijack. Min raise would be, blinds are 15 and 30, the min raise would be $60. Twice the big blind would be a min raise. It's called by the small blind for $45, which is not very good play because he's not getting the right odds and he's going to be out of position. So he probably, in my opinion, has an okay ace, like an ace jack or an ace 10 suited, or he's got a pair like a pair of 6s or 7s and he wants to see a flop. The flop comes 10-7 deuce. He checks 2 spades. This other guy bets 75 into the 150 pot, which is a half pot. I don't think he really hit anything with that bet. This is a good time for a check raise. He gets called. Small blind checks again when the 4 comes off on the turn. 10-7 2 4 on the board, 2 spades still. See, it's a $300 pot. This bet should be over 150. Like 175, 190. He checks it back. I didn't think he hit the first time. Now let's see with the 5 on the red 5 on the end. Let's see if the small blind comes out and bets like he should. Because you can take this away from that person. If that other person raised, let's say with ace jack, ace king, ace queen, king queen, he didn't hit anything. Oh, they both check. He had pocket 8. They both have pocket 8s. Crazy. The first one to bet would have probably won there. I've got a 2-9 of spades, which is a hand I must throw away. If you think about it, just think about it. I've only played how many hands so far? Think about all the hands I've had. How many have I played? Is it 0? It's close to it, isn't it? I haven't had any cards. I don't have to play. We're about 12, 14 minutes into the tournament. Got an all in here from the button. I don't know. A lot of times this is a very suspicious type of thing. He's going up against the guy with the short stack, so the short stack may give him some play here. He can definitely double his money. He should take the chance. I would. If I had 320, I'd go against that guy. Any two cards you're going to have, as long as the other person doesn't have a pair, you're going to have around a 32% chance of winning. I have a 2-9 offsuit. Not going to play it. So this is a regular tournament. This is a $10. You pay $11. $1 is the vig, which is the rake or whatever you want to call it. The tournament. Everybody pays $1 to the host. This time it's True Poker. That's how they make their money. They make $9 off of this tournament. The rest of the money is put into the prize pool. 50% to the winner. So you got 9 players at $10, so 50% would be $45, and then the second place winner is going to get 30%, and the third place is going to get 20. So the goal is always to get second or first, because that's where the majority of the money is. You can win third place money and just barely win $5 or $6. That's not usually what you want to do in these events. For the time you have to spend, you want to really make second or first place money. That's the goal. On this particular hand, I'm not advertising what happened because I wasn't in it again, but it's 2 aces, a 6, and a 4. A rainbow, it's 4 different suits on the board, and the hand is over. I'm not going to describe some that doesn't look like there's going to be any discussion. King 7 offsuit is an easy fold for me. Again, we're still down to 8 players. We have to get a long ways away, but the game usually starts at 100, 200. To me, that's where things get decided because you get short stacked and you have to make plays. Although on some of these events, you can get a lot of people that like to make war early in the game. Just let them do that. You don't care about who gets how many chips and everything. You just want people eliminated. That's your only goal. Get down to the money. I've got King 10 offsuit under the gun, and that's an easy fold. So next hand I'll be the big blind. I keep saying that because I want to just drive it into Christian's head. When you're under the gun, the next hand you'll be big blind, then small blind, then the button, then the cutoff, and then the hijack. Just like that. Just keeps going around and around. A King 7-9 flop, that would have a pair of kings with a 10 kicker. But you can't be results oriented. I don't think that's a very good hand. Somebody just bet 83 into the 165, which is a half pot, called by or re-raised by the short stack. He should call here. He does for the 290. He's got a flush draw against a straight draw, and neither one of them hits, and the short stack is eliminated. 2 down, 6 to go. I've got 9-7 in the big blind and haven't played a hand. It's not how many hands you play, it's how many hands you win that you play. So,
Are you taking a shower?
yeah, that was my wife asking me if I was going to take a shower when I was done. For all of you that are staying on afterwards, I'll put the camera in it. No, I won't. He just limps into my hand. I've got a King 10-7, and he did not bet, so I'm going to fire a 2/3 pot bet right at him because he checked that flop. I usually take a check as a, and he folded, as a raising a white flag, usually an indication of weakness, and so I just bet, even though I only had a pair of 7s. I've got a 5-2 in the small blind. I'll fold that. Everybody folded around to me. So I really haven't played a hand yet. I've just been in the big blind and got lucky to win a couple of chips. I got 1,440 chips, started with 1,500. When I get to 100, 200, I want to be 2,500 to 3,000 chips or better. That's my goal. It's folding around to the end. It's coming back to me on the button. I've got Queen 8 offsuit. I'm not interested. Even at 15-30, I'm still raising the blinds, trying to steal. I'll wait till the level goes up a little bit more before I steal. Plus, to them, it'll look like I know what I'm doing as well. And a lot of times they'll respect my raise later on than they did early on. 6-9 in the cutoff is an easy fold. Goes to the button first to act. Everybody else is folded. This should be, remember 15-30, this should be up around 85-90. Let's see what, usually it's 3 times the big blind or $90. And that's what the small blind bets. The button had folded. Called by the big blind, a 3-2-10 flop, rainbow. See if he follows up 180 in a pot, you should be betting around 2/3 here. You should be betting like 120. He bets only half the pot, 90. And he wins. Sometimes that's all it takes to win. Oh, we're up to 25.50, and I got first pair of the night, a pair of threes. I'm in the hijack seat, but with 2 out, it's really more like middle position. Now, if I want to play these threes, I have to raise with them. I can't limp with them here. If I have to raise with them, I have to make $150. I don't know if I want to bet these here, so I'm going to play and throw them away. Early in the tournament, they're worth the small pairs and everything. They have some worth because you can get in cheap and you might flop something big. Middle of the tournament, they lose value. End of the tournament, they gain value because you have to make a stand, and it's better to make a stand with a pair than anything else. So just remember, early on they have some value, later on they have value, but in the middle they lose a lot of value. And I don't want to just throw away chips. When this hand I've got pocket tens, black tens, and I can make a raise. I can get knocked out just easier right here than before, but I still got to worry about jacks, queens, kings. Now, a limper before me, and I'm going to make it 200. So another three times the big blind would be 150, but I had a limper, so I had to add another 50. So it was 4 times the big blind. That's how I calculate how to raise that person. That's to offset the pot odds that are out there. For somebody to call now, they're going to be betting 200 into a pot of 325, getting less than 2-1, including the guy that limped just prior to me. And he folds, and I win the pot, which is fine with me. I get my 175. I'm back to 1565 under the gun with Jack 3 offsuit, and it's an easy throwaway. A lot of people that have watched this video will say, I would have played the threes, Al, I would have maybe limped, or I would have raised it. And that's fine. But if you got re-raised, do you really want to call somebody? You're in for 150, and then somebody re-raises you. You know it's going to be at least 150 more or better. Do you really want to put $400 or $500 of your $1,400 in the pot with 3-3? I don't think so. And at that stage, it's just not worth it. You can't win the tournament. There's too many people left. You can lose the tournament and lose a lot of chips. So you don't want to do that at all. This particular hand is a 3-5, king 6-7 on the board, so there's 4 cards to a straight. Somebody, I guess, could have the 4. One guy bets 263, the other guy goes all in. All I care is this other guy calls. He doesn't, because one of them would get knocked out of the tournament or get low chipper, and that's all I'm interested in. Somebody else lose it. I don't care who gets the chips. I don't care if one guy gets 10,000 chips. I'll worry about him when I'm heads up against him. I can't worry about their chips. That doesn't concern me. I can only worry about my play. So I got 8-2 in the big blind. Of course, next hand I'll be small, then I'll be in the button, then I'll be in the cutoff, then I'll be in the hijack seat. That's how it goes. But this guy under the gun makes it 125. That's an easy fold for me. He could have made it $51 out of folded, but he can't do that. Ace-9 offsuit in the small blind. If nobody else bets, I certainly will attack the big blind. I make it 200 here. I'm out of position. I usually make it a little bit more when I'm out of position. I get called, and an ace-jack-king flops. I'm going to go for a check raise here, and then another jack flops. I'm just going to put out a bet. He only stays if he has a jack here, in my opinion, and he folds. I have a 3-9 of hearts on the button. No, even though it's 25-50 and I can attack the blinds, I don't care to do it. If this was 5-6 suited, I might try, but it's raised just before me, a min raised to 100 by a short stack. When I say short, I'm talking people that are under 1,000. He has just under 1,000, or just under 900, I should say. And he gets raised and he gets folded down. I got pocket nines. They're both black, and they're awesome. And I'm going to bet again, sticking to my 3 times. On this site, that means it's a $200 bet. It's really 4 times the big blind, but on this, the way they have the 3 times, 4 times. I want somebody to really think about having to put in $150 here. I got position. He does call. I have to worry about a 10 and a jack that flopped. I will do a continuation bet for $284, which is 2/3 of the pot. If he stays, I shut it down. If he comes over the top, I shut it down. I'm hoping that he just folds. He does. But you got to do that continuation bet, especially if you're up against 2 or 1 players. I have a queen 3 offsuit, which is a throwaway hand. Now I'm up to $1,940. Again, I made this, or I'm making this tape for Christian in Sweden. He's blind. He's listening to the commentary as we go around. I didn't know how long I would last. I just told him I would play as tight and as smart as I can, throwing away hands that don't put me in a good situation, and playing aggressively with the hands that do. I could get knocked out at any moment, and that's when the video will end, and I will send it to him, and hopefully he will have learned some of the things that I talked about and can play it over and over. On this particular hand here, we have 2 players, the blinds. There's a 7, 9, 6, 10 on the board, 3 clubs, and we have a $100 bet, a raise of 100, a call of 100, and a 4th club comes off. And of course, the caller who called is saying he's got a king or an ace of clubs. He bets. The only way this other person raises him is if he has the ace of clubs. He doesn't, he calls, and it's the queen of clubs in the hand of the small blind, queen 6, lousy, stinking hand, and takes it down. So you do have a lot of bad players at these. If you play your smart way and let them continue to play their silly way, you'll do fine. You'll do fine at this game. I folded a queen 4 offsuit. It's raised on the button, first in, min raise. An all in by the small blind usually or generally means a big pair or big cards, folded by the button who came in for the min raise. I've got ace jack under the gun. I'm going to go ahead and raise it up to 200. It's really 4 times, but it says 3x on the slider here, but I don't mind doing it. I'm just trying to be consistent on my bets. Would I throw this away if somebody went all in? Sure. I can't win with it, but I can sure get knocked out with it. I get called. Maybe the guy to my right who has 700. Now it comes out ace, queen, 8, 2 hearts. I'm going to check and go for a check raise, hoping that if he has kings, he'll think I don't have the ace here, and he'll bet. He bets 225. I'm going to make it 675. He goes all in, and I go all in, and he's got ace king. He's got me crushed. I catch a jack on the turn, and I crush him right back. So I was trapping him, and he was trapping me. He only called me pre-flop. He didn't raise me pre-flop. I would have thrown that away if he raised me pre-flop. I got lucky on the turn. Now I have $3,585, and I'm in great position with 6 players left to try to get down to the bubble or into the money. Queen 5 offsuit on the big blind. It's raised. It's an easy fold for me. The guy with the small stack of 712 is to my right. He folds. And on we go. Queen 6 offsuit in the small blind. That's an easy throwaway. Those of you that are listening, I have a cold and I am going to blow my nose off camera. Trumpeter. Oh, look what happens. I get pocket threes. They're black and I'm on the button. If it's raised, I throw it away. If it's not, I'm going to raise this one up to my 200 3 times. It's actually 4 times the big blind there. What their slider is 3 times. But if it's raised, I'll throw it away. I'm not interested in playing the threes right now. Okay. I'll raise it to 200 since I'm first in. Again, putting pressure on them to make a decision or make a poor decision. Folds into the small blind. Big blind folds, and I pick up another 125 chips. Queen 5 offsuit is an easy fold. I think on this site, I'm not sure, but I think on the site, the next increase is to 40.80. Might be wrong. It's 25.50. I wish it was 50.100. We'll see. I guess I could go look, but I don't like to do it when I'm in the OBS. I'm broadcasting this or recording this on the OBS. I don't like to do that. It's 50.100, and I pick up ace king, and the guy to my right goes all in. Now, a lot of people would stay away from this race here, but I'm interested in getting him out, and I'm also looking for an isolation here. So I'm going to raise all in, knowing I could lose 7-12, and hoping that he's got a weaker ace, like an ace 10, like an ace 8 suited. He may have a pair, and if he does, it's a flip. He has ace 8 suited, as I suspected, and he gets nothing. 4, 5, 9, queen, 9, goodbye. So now I am up to 4,400 chips in the big blind with jack 7 offsuit. Limper on small blind. I hit a 7 on a flop. He does not bet. I bet $100, see what he wants to do. He folds. I always take a check as a weakness, and I always fire something out there, usually more than that bet. I wanted to bet a little bit more there. I hit the wrong button. 2-9 in the small blind is an easy fold. And like I said, we're down to 5 players, and I'm the chip leader at 4,500. To my left is 1,800 or 1,900. To his left is 2,800, then 1,500, and then 2,500. I've got jack 6 offsuit on the button. I am folding. I don't care what this guy does right in front of me. And he makes it a min raise to 200. It's 5,100 at this time. A lot of people towards the end of the tournament will start using a min raise rather than doing the 2 times or 3 times the big blind. It's just normally in a bigger tournament with a lot more chips, I got 8-6 offsuit, which is a fold, 1 limper in front of me. It's a technique that in multi-table tournaments where you have lots of chips, later on a min raise, if let's say it's 500,000, a mid raise is 2. That's enough to persuade somebody not to get in. So it's an effective bet. But early, some people do 2.2 or 2.25, a little bit more than minimum. Whatever you want to do it. Normally in one of those bigger tournaments, towards the end, you don't have to put 3 times in to achieve the same thing. You can still fold. You can still find out about your opponent by putting in the mid raise. So I have no problem with it late in a big tournament. In these tournaments, I have a little bit of a problem with. I have an 8-10 suited in early position, but it's not strong enough. With my chip lead, I'll let other people battle it out. That's something I want to just throw away. I don't want to get involved and pick up a draw. And the small blind attacks the big blind all in. And like I say, I want a caller. I just want somebody to get hurt. In the big blind with a 9-3 suited in spades, I am not going to defend my big blind. What I'm hoping for here is what they call a walkover. Everybody folds and I just win the pot. I get my money back and I get the small blind money because there's no ante involved in this. But if anything else would happen, I would just want one caller with the small blind to call, and hopefully I would get a good flop. As it is, I got a walkover and I get my money back. And that's because they don't want to engage the big stack, which is me, and they've seen when I'm active, I'm very strong, or I've shown good cards. In the small blind with 8-4, I throw it away. I'm raised by the button. He raised it, min raised to 200, which has been what he's been doing, and he wins the pot. Ace-7 offsuit. Now, a lot of people on the button here would play this hand. Now, somebody went all in front of me, but if they didn't, I don't know if I would play that for a small raise. If I did, it would be just the 100 for the big blind. I'd probably make it a 225, 230 bet. Just see if I could nudge the big blind to fold, but I'm really not a fan of that with my chip stack size at this late in the game. Let other people do stupid things. My chips are too important to me. I have 8-3 suited. I throw that away, and I'm one before the button. Remember now, position changes fast. You only have 5 at the table, so you've got the small blind, big blind, under the gun, and then the next person automatically is in the cutoff, and the next person's on the button. So there is no a lot of people in early position, a lot of people in middle position. There is no middle position anymore. It all disappears. So as you get short-handed, things change. Another move by this one gentleman. He keeps going all in. See if he's going to get a caller eventually. Nope, he's won again. 10-4 offsuit. Easy fold. Down to the small blind, big blind. Small blind once again, all in, wins. He's picking up chips and picking up steam. I hope to get a big hand when he does that with me. But I get Jack-7 offsuit and the big blind. Me, when I have a lot of chips like this, I want the blinds to go up as fast as they can. It affects other people and having to post that money and put them in different situations. I'm raised to 300 now. This is the same guy who's been raising min raise, and now he bets 300. I'm sure he has a very good hand here. An easy fold for me. I have 8-7 suited in spades in the small blind. We'll just have to see what everybody else does. Oh, a gentleman went all in again. It's an easy fold for me. Sometimes when that happens and there's a guy to my left, I will let the clock run, buying them more time to think. Maybe they'll make a mistake and do the call. I'm on the button with 3-6. It's been min raised by our same gentleman that likes to min raise. I fold, of course, and he takes it down. King-9 is not a hand that I would play. I'm going to throw that away. It's to the button quickly. Should be a $300 bet against the two blinds of 50 and 100. 3 times the big blind. It'll be $250 to $300 if he plays. Hasn't done anything yet. Makes it 200, which is tempting for the blinds to come in against him here. They're out of position, but it also leaves the door open for them to come in with a speculative hand. But the small blind changes his mind and re-raises the min raiser. Now, if the min raiser really has a really strong hand, he'll come over the top all in. If he don't, he'll fold, and he does fold. And the small blind is stupid enough to show us pocket kings. I'll fold my king-4 under the gun. Anytime somebody shows you the hand, take note of their information. It's valuable. 9-5 suited in hearts on the button. I mean, in the big blind, excuse me. Fold, fold to the button, fold to the small blind. He raises to 200. So here I'm going to test him because I haven't done anything. I'm going to raise it to 500. And he calls. And luckily I get 2 hearts and a 5 on the flop. See what he does. He bets 500, folks. So I'm on a draw, and I'm telling you what you're not supposed to do here. And I did not get a heart, and he goes all in, and I must fold this hand. So I wasted good demonstration, 1,200 chips, screwing around with him. And that's what I haven't been doing the whole tournament, but it's good that you got to see that. I'm folding a 2-8 suited here. If you just stay away from those, don't worry about it. I got ace jack on the button. Gonna raise it up, my standard. I don't think I have to go. Let's go that much. I did the 400 three times, or on this side, it's 4 times the big blind, and that takes down the money. 210 is an easy fold. I told you when I got to 100, 200, I wanted to be between 2,500 and 3,000. I'm still at 3,500, but I should be over 4,000 if I didn't play that one hand. That's my error. I could have got lucky and knocked him out too, but I didn't catch a heart or a 5 or a 9. Either one of those, I would have probably beat him because he probably had queen king or something like that. I just hit top pair. That's a chance you take. I folded jack 5 of hearts. The flop came 2 diamonds with an ace. 75, 150, and I got red 10s. 75, 150. Right before the 100, 200 rack. Remember now, if you divide the 150 into everybody's stack, you'll find out how many big blinds they have. The guy to my left is 1,400 chips. He's got less than 10 big blinds. His only play is all in. It's fold or all in. He cannot call. He cannot raise. He is a guy that's taking a lot of time, as if to say he didn't know what to do, and then he decides to push all in. I would think that this guy has got a very good hand, and he wants action. I am folding the 10s. If I lose, I'm down to 1,800 chips. If I win, I'm up to 5,000. I still don't win the game. I don't need it. If I was first in there, that's different. But he's first in. I don't need to take him in that match. I can't win right there. I can just hurt myself. He may have had pocket 7s. He may have had something a lot less than mine. I don't know. What kind of ranges do I put him on? He hasn't played that many hands the whole day. So I give him more credit than maybe he deserves. Kind of like monsters under the bed. But I don't like to put myself in a bad situation there. I like to save my ammunition for the real fight. Still may not make it. That may have been one of my mistakes. 5-6 on the button is an easy fold for me. The guy on my left's name is Embrace the Rage. He goes all in against, and he gets called. King 7 against King Jack. Flop comes 8, 10, 9 with a 9 and then another Jack. And the 7 has made a straight. The lousy hand of King 7 has made a straight and beat down the big blind for a bunch of chips, over 1,200 chips. I have 10-5 suited in clubs, easy fold. I would think the guy that just lost the pot is going to be on tilt. He limps into the pot against Imagine That. 2 3s and a queen flop. A 2 on the turn. Another check. Imagine That is going to fire a 150. And he's going to take it down. Again, fire when the other person checks. 7-6 offsuit is a fold. I've been recording for about 44 minutes. I think the game has really been going about 42 minutes. There was about a minute and a half in the beginning that wasn't game. These last usually an hour, hour and 5 minutes. If you're lucky enough to be still in the game, you're going to be in the money. If not, c'est la vie. Jack 7 offsuit in the big blind. Oh, those big blinds come around and eat into your chip stack really good. Remember, 100, 200 is next. That's when the game begins. Here comes the small blind. He's probably going to make it 300 here. Nope, he just calls. I have nothing with my Jack 7. He bets 150, and I let him have it. If he checked, I bet. If he bets, I fold. Easy. 8-3 in the blind, small blind. I'll throw that away. I don't even have to think about stealing. I don't care about stealing with cards like that. It's raised, mid-raised to 300, called by the button. Big blind has got good odds here. It's 150 for 850, so he's getting close to 5 to 1 on his money. It's very good. Anytime you're getting 5 to 1 on your money in a blind, that's a pretty good calling situation. I don't like it when I'm getting 3, 4 to 1. I like 5.5 to 1, 5, 6, 1. Half pot bet and a call. We got 3 spades on the flop, 3, 5, 6, followed by a 9 of hearts. He pushes all in, and he folds. So we have one guy that's real short, under 1,000, and everybody else is either in the 2s or 3,000s. Queen 2 on the button is a fold. Let these other two battle it out. Patience, discipline, experience, skill. Everything counts in this game. Making decisions, making the right decisions, making the wrong decisions. I made one wrong decision. Maybe I made 2 wrong decisions by not playing the 3s, or maybe I should have entertained playing the 10s against the guy and knocked him out. Maybe he had a weaker hand than I gave him credit for. Don't know. Won't know. All I can do is continue playing the way I'm playing. Hopefully I make the right decisions. You can take lots of different paths to get to the final table and get to the final. I folded 7-8 this hand. The flop was 4, 5, 6. Can't play the 7-8 though. I can't expect 4, 5, 6 to flop. I have an ace 10 here. So this time I will raise it up to 450. Fold it around to the big blind. Thinking about it. It's a little bit more than he likes to pay. And I take down the blinds. Ace 8 offsuit in the big blind. I got 3,122 chips. An all in from the short stack means that it's a race. Harrington says ace 8 or better is okay to defend with. I'm not a fan of this with this guy being so short. I think if he has a pair, he does. He shows again, pocket 10s. All I have is 3 aces. So it's over pair cards, over cards. I don't like those odds at all. 3-7 on the button is an easy fold. It's very nice of him to show those cards when he does his thing. Ace King. This is a hand that'll either get me in the game or get me out of the game at this stage. I gotta play it strong. The guy before me is gonna raise. I'm gonna re-raise all in. If he doesn't, then I'm gonna play $600, which turns out to be 4 times the big blind. He's got 1470. He goes all in. I get the matchup I want. He's got King Jack. Only the Jack is who I have to avoid. A 9, 3, 4, 10. Queen comes off. He makes a straight on the river with the 9, 10 Queen and a Jack King, and I'm down to 1,400 chips. Just like that, I got the matchup I wanted. He was absolutely crushed. He had 4 outs going into the river. That's 4 times 2, which is an 8% chance, and he hits the card to take me down. So I did the right thing, but the results weren't there. That's all you can hope for, is you do the right thing. You have no control of how the cards come off. You want that matchup all day long. Ace King against King Jack. It's really ace against Jack. The 2 kings are thrown out. He does have a straight draw, so do you, but he got very lucky. That's the software. You can't do anything about that. So I am the low chipper. I went from chip leader by throwing away some chips and then getting involved in that hand there. And I just folded King 6, which I have to fold, and the flop came King, King, Jack. So can't be results oriented. Oh, Now we got an all in, and he wins. I'm looking to get all my chips in, and this will be it. Ace King offsuit. I'm gonna hope that the small blind comes in. He might just fold it to me, knowing that I have a small chip stack and I'm gonna attack him. He does. I gotta anticipate what players are gonna do. So there was a waste. I have Jack 6 here, a waste of 2 nice cards. It's raised 300. And the small blind calls. 9, queen, deuce, 2 hearts on the flop. Small blind is thinking about it. Who called? He checks. Imagine that. Another heart comes off, an 8. Putting a straight draw and 3 hearts on the board. 8, 9, queen is a straight draw for a Jack 9, a Jack 10. Jack 10 is a very popular hand that people play. He checks. Check back. Another heart, a 4th heart, 6 of hearts comes off. Puts not only a heart flush on the board, a possible straight flush on the board. There was a possible straight flush before that with the 8, 9 queen. Somebody could have had the Jack 10 of hearts. But they would probably bet. They both checked. And the man had the king 10 with the 10 of hearts. Under 200, the game begins, and I get a 5-4. Where I said the game begins, I get a 5-4 on the button. Not where I wanted to be. And an all in from the small blind. This is where general bets are all in, all in, all in. I have Jack 5. It's an easy fold. But there would be the middle of the position. One under the gun, then me, then the button. So it's a quick shift of positions. A lot of times when people take a lot of time and then they bet, it's a real strange dynamic that they try to make people think they don't have anything or something. I don't know what they're thinking. And if they take a long time and they fold, they're probably playing more than one table. Raised by the small blind, and he wins. So I need to double up, and I need to double up fast, and I get a queen 4 suited under the gun, which means that the blinds are going to roll through me now for $300. I've got $14.27, so I know I'm going to have $1,100 after the blinds if I don't play either blind hand and don't defend, which is coming up right now. But I know I've got one revolution around the table to get all my money in. I got 6-3 in the big blind, which is not a good defendable hand. One fold. Raise to 600. That'll make me fold. Come on, small blind. Oh, he had ace king. That guy likes to show his pretty cards. 4-9 is another fold. So I got 11.27. I have 3 hands to get my money in the pot, because in 3 hands I'll be under the gun posting, or in 4 hands I'll be the big blind posting $200, leaving me only 900. You always want to get your money in when you're not in the blinds, because you'll make more money off of it. And you'll have more money to maybe convince somebody not to call, or whatever the case may be. You'll have at least enough to nudge it. 7-2, I can't nudge nobody, but that's okay. It was raised early. Everybody folded to the small blind. Now to the big blind. 200 to call. He folds. They're all waiting for me to make a move here. 6-4, I can't make the move. But you didn't see me go on tilt. You didn't see me get upset. I'm just playing my game, playing the cards I get, hoping for the best, hoping to get back in the game. I can't get upset that my ace king lost to the king jack just because he sucked out on the river. That's the way poker is. It's not 100%. Oh, Someone bets 400, he goes all in. I would love to see these two guys mix it up, but they don't. King 2 under the gun. Normally I would try this, but I am going to try this. I'm going to go all in here and hope that the big blind doesn't want to lose 1,100 chips here. I'm hoping everybody else has a bad hand here, and that the big blind has to decide whether or not to lose 900 more chips at this stage in the game. So I'm hoping that they're putting me on a better hand than I have. I do not want a caller here, and I didn't get one. So I stole that one, so I stole enough of my blinds, which I now have to post, and I get 6-8 of spades. I have 1,227 chips with 200 posted, giving me 1,427 total. But the 200 posted is not mine anymore as far as I'm concerned. That is my payment to play. Now if he folded again, so I win back another 100. I'm back to 1,500 with a Jack 5, which I won't play. And I can sit back and wait for another 4 or 5 hands. Looking for a hand to get in. 10-3 is not it. Everybody folds to the small blind. He folds, and this is really everybody waiting for a hand. I got Ace-5 offsuit. Not the best hand, but I'm not waiting around. I'm going to put $1,500 or $1,427 in a pot and hope anybody that calls me has got me beat. I'm just hoping that that's enough to convince them not to come at me. I would love pocket deuces or pocket threes because then I have 2 over, so I have a flush draw, straight draw. 7-3 is a fold. I'm 17-27 now. They do not want to let me double up. They do not want to give me chips at this stage in the game. Are all in. Everybody folds. I'm in the big blind with 2-10 of clubs. I will not defend this hand. It's raised. Mid-raised on the button. Who wins? 3-7 in the small blind. Terrific cards all of a sudden. It's raised again. Same gentleman, one before the button. Let's see if the blind calls or raises. Nope, folds. I'm looking to get my money in right now. On the button. 3-9. No money out of my hands going in this spot. Small blind, big blind. 100, 200. See what the small blind does. Christian, you got to tell me if my explanations, my descriptions, he went all in from the small blind, and he takes it down. If you've been able to follow things pretty good. Ace-7 suited, that's an all in for me if nobody else comes in. Only going to win 300 if they all fold. He's thinking about it. He's got 2,300. If he loses, he knows he's short stack. So my chip stack's up enough that it's really influencing their decisions. 9-3 is a fold. I'm back at 17-27. We're at 58 minutes on the video. Probably about 56 minutes of video of the game. I told you it'd be in the 105, 110 area if you're still alive. 100, 200 with a 6-9 and a big blind. I'm not going to defend it. Anybody raises, they can have the money. Even if it was suited, I wouldn't be defending it. It is raised. I want a war break out between 2 or 3 of these players. It's not happening. They're all getting out of everybody's way. Call them. Go all in. Do something. You're not helping me by wasting time. The blinds are going up. It's costing me more. Fold again. Come on, baby, right now. Small blind special. Jack 10 of diamonds. Not bad. I'm going to put the pressure on the big blind here. I'm betting he has nothing. He doesn't fold. He folds. Back up to 1727. Jack 10 offsuit. If I'm first, I'm all in again. If somebody else comes in, I'll fold. One fold. This guy, if he calls, he's going to have something because he always has good cards he shows. Oh, I won again, so now I've got 2,027 chips with an ace-7 offsuit. And now I will, since there's 3 players to go, I will let that go. Get a raise from the button. Remember, I had ace-7 offsuit. See if these guys, nope, they don't get into a battle. We won't find out if it's any good. Ace deuce suited. I'm going to let that go because I don't need to play it at this time. I have 2,000 chips. Still a small stack. This guy goes all into my left. I'm sure glad I didn't try to. Oh, he's at ace 6. He had me crushed. The other guy's at ace jack. He had me crushed. But I had ace 2 of diamonds. And there's a 6, 7, 8, 10, 5. He wins it with a pair of 6s. And my diamonds wouldn't have came out. And we have one guy that's down to 172 chips. He's all in. Cost me $200 here. I am going to not call and let them go at it. The reason I didn't call is the 200. I don't know what this guy to my left is going to do. He would have won anyhow. Knocks him out. So now I'm on the bubble. There's 4 people left. A 3-8 is an easy fold. Raise under the gun. Fold. Remember, if this next guy re-raises, he's the guy that's been showing all the good cards. He's in the big blind. They're liable to believe him. He just calls. And 2-2 queen flops. Gentleman bets 450 and wins the pot. Oh, now we got antes now, $25 antes. I get 3-2. It's stayed at 100, 200, but we added antes of $25. So the pot is 400 before we start. Instead of being 300, the 100 and 200 in the blinds, there's also 4 $25 bills in there. Get a call from the button, or no, a min raise from the button. This is with a small, nope, he doesn't come in. He's got $22,000. He's almost as short as me. I have 8-3 in the big blind. That's a loss of $200 to me because I can't call anybody with that. All right, baby, let's go. Something 5s, anything. 6, 7 of hearts. I'm gonna push it if this guy doesn't come. Oh, he comes in for 400. He won't fold to me here, so I'm gonna fold. I don't want to take a race with that guy by re-raising him, thinking he won't fold. He raised voluntarily there. 6, 7 of hearts. 7-3 is no good. Again, that's another decision you got to make. Is that the time or not? I felt it wasn't. Oh, there's a push against the, and they got a call. 6-4 against ace 7. The ace 7's in the lead, but the 4 gets hit. The ace gets hit. Only a 6, and the ace gets hit again. And the low chipper wins. That's not the guy I wanted to win. I wanted this guy with 6-4 to win because I would have been in the money. That just didn't work out good. I got king 5 offsuit. I'm going to go ahead with my one big card and put 1,400 under the pot and hope that somebody doesn't call me because they don't want to lose 1,500 chips here. Again, if somebody has a good ace, they're going to call or a pair, but they don't, and I pick up $600. Back up to about $1,800. 3-5 in the big blind, not defendable. Small blind and me. He should make it 400. He should know it. He doesn't. He just gives me the money. Not smart. Got $1,900 with a king queen. Not the best hand. Even against ace-3, I'm an underdog. 58-42. Don't let this first guy, the guy that's been showing the good cards, to come in first for a raise. We know he plays pretty good cards. Alright, it's to me. That's an all-in against my big blind opponent. And I take it down. And $2,200 now. Queen 6 is a fold. Instead of two blinds, I was on the button. I could be stealing with that, but not really in good shape. Ace 7 is an all-in for me. Not the greatest hand. It's pressure. 2,200. Oh, I get a call by pocket fives. I got 2 overs. Let's see what happens. He hits his 5. I'm dead meat. I hit a 7, but he hit his 5. He had 2 5s in the deck. He hit it, and that's it. I finish on the bubble, and I don't win any money. But I hope that you learned a lot from this, Christian, and anybody else that watched this tournament. Just imagine listening to me and watching without your eyes. Man is blind, and he's trying to learn the game, and I'm trying to teach it to him that way. I hope you all enjoyed it. I enjoyed doing it for you. You all take care. This is Al Spath on Positive Poker Insiders, signing out.